Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Beast and Booze. We're back.
Yay.
We have 2 more episodes, so this is our second to last for this season of Beast and Booze. And if you're not familiar, this is a mini series that Ivan and I do discussing different, cryptids and beasties while we have a drink. And usually by the second episode, things get weird. If you're not familiar with any of the other episodes, there's a playlist. We've covered a few things. You can go back and check that out. There's also going to be a link in the description for this episode for our merch, because we do have logoed stuff that you can buy and wear and sport. And so this week, the last time we recorded, I did was my pick, and I did Skinwalkers. And so this time it's Ivan's pick, and you picked
the Northfield Pigman of Vermont.
Yeah.
Yes. The lovely grouping of words there. So I had to dig in on that. And yeah. I'm very happy I did. I am very happy I did.
I don't know anything. I mean, I haven't known anything about any of the ones that you've done, and this is no different. I don't know anything about this one either, but this is the most I think this is the one I'm like the most intrigued by, because I'd forgotten this was like your third pick for the series. So then when you reminded me what it was, I was like, well, this can be a fun conversation.
To say the least.
Well, can't wait.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what I was in for, but out of the 3 that I've picked, this one has the most backstory to it. So I'm okay. Yeah, there's more of a story behind this one than the other 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and we get to learn a few things about pigs, so that's cool.
I mean, yeah, it's always been like the second piece of it is educating us on things that exist in the real world. Only makes it more scary.
Great. It's gonna be great. If you love pigs, I am very sorry. This is gonna.
What does that mean? Okay.
Yeah, you'll see. Okay. So before anything, I thought I was experimenting with Bailey's, and as you can probably tell from past episodes, I like Bailey's.
Yeah.
I put it in root beer. And it's like, maybe this is going to be like a root beer float kind of thing. Yeah. It is.
Okay.
And me thinking that I may have stumbled onto something fantastic, it's already a drink that exists.
Oh.
Yeah, I looked it up. I had to look it up. I mean, research is what I do. So it's called an Irish root beer float.
Okay.
But if you were to add rum into it, it would be a root beer rum cream.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea. Rum, root beer, and Bailey's.
Oh, as in not instead of, as in together.
Oh, together. Yeah, together would be a root beer rum cream. But
that sounds like a lot.
It does, doesn't it? So I didn't do the rum. I only have the Bailey's in it, so I have an Irish root beer float.
Huh. Yeah. I did just plain vodka and lemonade. That's my drink for today. I do have this really cute cup, though.
It is really cute. I like that.
I got this from Spirit Halloween like 4 years ago. Nice. It was probably very expensive, which is why I only bought one.
You also have a more responsibly sized cup than I do. Yeah, I think
this is deceivingly big, because this is like. Does it not tell me, or I can't see it because the tag is like washed out on it? This is deceivingly big. That's all I will say.
I filled this thing to the top, and I'm just saying this may have been. Could have been a great idea. Could have been a bad idea. We'll see.
Yeah. It's going to be a good idea for anybody watching the episodes.
I hope so. I hope so. It is quite tasty though.
That's good.
Okay, so the Northfield Pigman.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably my favorite of the three too. Oh my god! It stands about 5'6"
Mm-hmm.
to 5'8", depending on who reported seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess not exactly like it's not menacing in height.
Sure. That's as tall as me.
Yeah, and that's about. I'm right between that. I'm 5'7", so
yeah.
And I'm not very threatening. So yeah, there you go. No one's afraid of me. But it is covered in white hair, according to at least 2 of the sightings. And okay, so some of these say it has cloven hooves and talon-like claws.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say it's just a human body with the face or head of a pig.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm familiar with. Oh, I have a picture too. Let me show it really quick.
So yeah, so like picture that, but with lots of white hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, not looking like a jock in the 80s. But I like the picture.
I like it too.
So the legend dates back 72 years.
Okay.
And to 1951. And so the legend takes place on October 30th, 1951. And it was a 17-year-old boy. His name is Sam Harris. So some people also call this like the Sam Harris Pigman.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard of that either.
So Sam Harris was a boy, 17 years old, and he went out to do some egging of houses, as one does in 1951 around Halloween. This is appropriately the day before Halloween, and of course, right? Yeah, as most of these legends go, it's a very conveniently timed event.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, nothing better than having something originate around Halloween.
Right. Watch this one be the only one that's like actually happened or something. I don't know. No one believes it because of when it happened.
Yeah.
But so he went out with a handful of eggs. Wants to go cause mischief, and he doesn't come back that night. He apparently gets lost in the woods, and when his parents wake up the next morning to find that their son has not come home, they rally up a search party of hundreds of people in Northfield, and they cover hundreds of square miles, and they find nothing. They don't find Sam. He was never found, as a matter of fact, and some say that he was possessed by the devil himself while he was out in the woods.
Aren't we all?
Right. Yeah. That's what happens in the woods. Devil just like waits there for you.
That's right.
That's why we don't go into woods.
Just again, I say this, I think every episode, all the more reason to stay inside.
Yeah, right.
Where it's safe.
I think the show is more about like reasons to be introverts.
Introvert reason number. Yeah. They're all the same. It's all the same.
Stay inside. Look nothing in the eyes.
Yeah. Don't have any bad dreams, which I guess isn't related to being an introvert, but is a survival skill.
Yes. Just keep yourself subconsciously and consciously away from everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, they say that he was possessed by the devil himself, and that led to him slaughtering pigs and eating their entrails, and hollowing out the pigs' heads and wearing them as he terrorizes the locals.
I like it. Okay.
Which, of course, gives way to the physical description of the Pigman.
Right.
Some people think that it was a man wearing the head of a pig. Some people think that it was a man with an actual
instead of
pig's head for a head, or
a
pig's face. So like maybe just the snout or something.
Just something that looks similar or reminds people of a pig. I got you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, being that this was back in 1951,
Mm-hmm.
well, how can he still be doing this 72 years later? So
Yeah.
that here comes the turn into the oh shit, uh, and that's that he was. It was also said that this position of the devil led him to bestiality, and creating half pig, half man hybrids with the local livestock. That's about as cleanly as I can put that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Fair enough. Oof. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that gives way to how the pig man is now not a man with
What is
wearing
now
a head, is
instead?
now an actual man pig hybrid.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with man bear pig from South Park. I swear, the entire time I was taking notes and researching on this, that's all I could see was man bear pig. Like, if we had Al Gore here, none of this would have ever happened.
That's a great reference for this. And the people who aren't familiar, they'll maybe go watch the episode and see it for themselves.
Please go watch the episode. It's fantastic.
It is a very funny one. I agree. Yeah.
So that is kind of where things get muddled on what
Yeah.
the pigman is. And the white hair that is covered in could very well be, if these sightings are actually have some weight to them,
Mm-hmm.
could be due to the fact that Sam Harris is very old. The white hair could just be his body hair, the body hair of an old man.
That's taken over. Yeah.
He probably hasn't shaved all that time out in the woods. So that kind of checks out.
Yeah.
However, in 71? 71, there it is. So like 20 years after that,
Mm-hmm.
there were two sightings of the pigman that were only days apart. So one, or the first sighting, was of a farmer who heard some rustling in his garbage and decided, I'm going to go scare that raccoon away. Goes out with a shotgun to go scare the raccoon away, finds a man with a pig face, who gets spooked by him and runs into the woods.
Yeah.
When he didn't say anything about this until he heard about a story later on, only days later, of some teenagers that were hanging out behind a high school, and this pig man comes out of the brush and approaches them, and they all scatter screaming and go into the school and describing to the teachers that, hey,
Yeah.
this is what we saw, and that fit the description of what this farmer saw, and that's when he came forward and said, hey, I saw this same thing a few days ago. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
What I find kind of weird is that it's only in Northfield. That's it.
Okay.
Like, surrounding areas, like other cities, in Vermont, no, this is only in Northfield. So I'm not sure why it wouldn't migrate outside of that area, but it doesn't.
And I was gonna say, when you're talking about like Sam and like that, like, I feel like that has enough believability that this one is probably, I mean, I would say out of the ones we've discussed so far, this one would, to me, hearing about it, would be like, oh, this one like has the most likelihood, I guess, to be real, because that sounds like something. I mean, humans have done worse. So
Right?
I feel like it's interesting, like hearing that as like the origin of it is like that could have absolutely been a real thing.
Oh yeah, and it gets better
Oh,
because
there's more.
yeah, I go down rabbit holes, so there's usually more.
Not you.
No, not me. So there's a little bit more validity that comes with it, and when I say more validity, please take that with a grain of salt. because one of the theories is that the pigman might be a subspecies or a species related to Bigfoot.
Okay,
And
I'm
yeah,
listening.
I hope you've been listening. No,
I mean, yeah, I just stick my fingers in my
I'm
ears
kidding.
when you talk.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, Ivan.
I know. I'm kidding. So it may be related to Bigfoot or the woodwoes, which is
I don't.
another set of cryptids that it's a type of Bigfoot. Yeah. So we have different types of Bigfoot, big feet, or
Bigfoots.
Bigfoots,
Bigfoot eye. No,
Sasquatches. Uh,
that one's easy. Yeah.
there's a whole uh, what's the taxonomy for
Mm-hmm.
the Bigfoot species,
I don't know.
and oh yeah, there's a whole
I
thing.
mean, why wouldn't there
No,
be though, right?
but that yeah, exactly. And it includes the Yeti, and it includes
Yep.
the Almas of Russia, and um, uh, and the skunk ape of Florida. You know, in the
So
southeast.
I was going to ask that. So, because I think I always thought that those were just what different like states or cities called them, not necessarily that they were different from each other.
Well, they do have some characteristics that do differ from each other.
Okay.
You know, like the biggest differences being between like the Yeti and Bigfoot being that the
Sure.
Yeti is snow and white,
Cold. Yeah.
all that.
Yeah. I
You
gotcha.
know,
Okay.
yeah, and like the skunk ape has that distinct smell
Smell.
to it that Bigfoot doesn't.
Okay, you're right. Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah, so like they have like little differences, and it is theorized that maybe uh, the pigman is within that family. Um, so the woodwoes
Wood roast.
I feel like I sound like Elmer Fudd when I'm saying. So the woodwoes, oh god, are a type of Bigfoot or Sasquatch, and
Mm-hmm.
that showed up in the Americas just after Britain's colonialization of the Americas.
Oh, okay.
So that's sort of the explanation to how it came about here, and that can be a
Okay.
whole other discussion on the woodwoes. And I actually missed out on that one when I was researching hominid cryptids for one of my episodes, one of my specials.
Oh,
Yeah, I did a whole episode on those, and I completely glossed over the woodwoes. But
wood
anyway,
roast.
um, so it might uh, be related to those, but it also has another connection to Britain, which is kind of cool, and gives it a little bit more maybe not kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excuse me, on its existence.
Mm-hmm.
There is a place called Cannock Chase. Have you ever heard of it?
I want to say I have, but I don't know what in relation to what though.
It's sort of like the UK's Roswell.
Maybe
Uh,
that's okay.
so it's famous for UFO sightings, werewolf sightings, and other cryptids, including Bigfoot, and
Mm-hmm.
it has its own pigman. Uh, but
Okay.
yeah, right. So a pigman exists elsewhere, so there could be a connection as
Mm-hmm.
uh, for its existence. And here's the there's a story behind that pigman as well,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
but dates back to World War II. So
Okay.
so a little bit further
Before.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one came first, and
Yeah.
it was the result of post World War II. The British and the Americans teamed up to do some unethical experiments on people,
Right.
and uh, as we do, and and one of those experiments included kidnapping a woman and hypnotizing her, and then impregnating her with half pig, half human DNA. Uh, sorry,
Yeah.
the face you just gave me, like,
Sorry.
awesome, and derailed me in the best way.
I wear everything right here.
Yeah.
You always know what's going on in my head based on what you see on my face.
I've learned to pay more attention to your eyes. So they did all of that, and they tried to impregnate this woman with that so that they can create a new species of whatever, and use that as a test subject to further their experiments for more experiments.
Yeah.
10 months pass, and nothing. So they pretty much deemed it a crapshoot. They said, "Well, this is a failure. She's not going to give birth to this monster that we're making." And unexpectedly, after a year, she gives birth to a baby human. However, that baby human has the snout of a pig, has the face of a pig.
Oh no!
Thus is the British pigman, which was called. Oh my god! Now I'm forgetting what it was called. Did I not write it down? Anyway, the pig. I'm just going to call it the pigman of Conic Chase. There's another word for it, and it escaped me. But the Conic Chase pigman has now come into existence. It was fully sentient. It has emotions and thinks exactly like humans and all, and was very afraid of judgment and persecution for being different. So he runs off into the woods, escapes all of that. He doesn't want to be seen by anybody.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
But since then, people have reported sightings of this pigman around UK. So there, yes. So there's a pigman over there. There's a pigman over here. Could there be some kind of connection to that? Possibly.
Yeah.
If the occurrences of the origins were only about 20 years apart, so
yeah,
it's not far fetched. How the pigman would get here from UK is a whole other thing that needs
portal.
Yeah.
The same way Nessie accidentally ends up in the water sometimes. Portal.
You know what? I was just about to bring up Nessie for that. So yes, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I'm willing to accept that as an explanation.
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite kind of theories around cryptids in general, and not just the water ones, is this concept of like dimensional portal travel. Because everyone always wants to say, well, Bigfoot can't exist because otherwise we would have killed one. We would have seen a bunch of them by now. Like, there's no way. But then that kind of like is a fun way to be like, oh yeah, well, what if it's dimensional travel? Like that is a fun rabbit hole to go down when you're talking about like how they're sometimes here and they're not here, how they can go from one place to another, or because a lot of our cryptids I think that we've talked about specifically are well, I guess like my two had specific zones but not necessarily specific places, but a lot of them have specific places that they don't really leave. But even the Mothman has been seen in other places, way away from West Virginia. And so, anyway, so the portal thing is like, I think is one of my favorite things, like when talking about cryptids and how they show up and they don't show up. And I just think it's really interesting.
Absolutely. I mean, and what's to say that that's not a thing, given all of the other abilities? Like when we were talking about skinwalkers, in our last episode.
Yeah.
There's this laundry list of abilities that these things have. Same thing with the Wendigos. This laundry list of abilities that it has.
Yeah.
As well as the ability to come into your dreams, which can be seen in some perspectives as another realm in itself. So.
Yeah, true.
Why wouldn't dimensionary travel or teleportation or some type or anything of the type be an impossibility with these creatures?
Yeah.
Some of them we say don't possess any magical or magical abilities.
I know what you mean. Yeah. You're right, though. Yeah.
or supernatural abilities.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only because we haven't seen them use it.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know,
true.
nobody who has cited any of these things has said that it watched a pig man vanish, teleport,
Sure.
So who says they can't?
Yeah. I think it's like, I don't like to limit myself with that stuff. I mean, when my friend Mike and I went to the Bigfoot Museum just a little ways away from us, like we recorded most of that trip, and he asked me, he was like, well, do you believe in Bigfoot? And I'm like, I don't always fall on the side of belief, but I very rarely fall on the side of disbelief. Like I'm open to the opportunity to be proven, or for it to be proven that yes, these things are real. Because I think when we start putting ourselves like we would know, I think it's just kind of like would we though? Because I feel like a lot of the things we say we know, we don't actually know. We're just making wild guesses and using those guesses to control groups of people. And so it's interesting to like talk about belief and not belief, but I kind of just always assume that it could be versus there's no way.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're still to this day just discovering new species all the time.
I know of bugs that are in dirt still. Like it's not even ocean. Like everyone's like, oh well, the ocean, yeah, because we have like on land too, though. Like,
and it's not just insects. It's not just arthropods. I think we in recent years have discovered a mammal that burrows and lives underground for and only comes out like every 10 years or something like that. I can't remember if it was a mammal, but still, it was bigger than a bug, and we didn't know that. We didn't know it existed. We didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
So some animals are just really good at never being discovered.
Yeah.
And that's a survival tactic.
Mm-hmm.
And when your job as an animal is to survive, you're gonna get really good at that.
Yeah.
So I say that sometimes there's too many stories and too many sightings to just write off the existence of these animals. At the same time, there's not enough evidence to prove the existence of these animals. But there's nothing wrong with staying in the middle, just staying on the fence until you get what you need to go either way.
That's what I do. Yeah, I stay in the middle. It could always have been real. And then the other thing too is like I was saying with this one in particular, with like the sand side of the story, is like, even if what we have in like the last 10 to 20 years isn't reality, it doesn't mean that some of the original stuff isn't at all, or that it didn't come from something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the Pigman, Northfield Pigman. So when you're up in Vermont, go visit Northfield and see if you can spot him. Be kind of cool though,
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it wouldn't hurt you, but
well, but you didn't actually. Well, no, it did hurt livestock and stuff in one of the older ones, right?
Yeah.
But not necessarily people.
I didn't find anything that said that it deliberately attacked people.
Yeah.
So the sightings that were reported said it approached people, but it didn't say anything
never attacked or
outrighting attacking people. So, I mean, that's not to say that if you do see the Pigman, you should go try to shake its hand or anything. But or
fair enough.
Keep your distance, but like maybe snap a picture or something if you can,
and then email it to us.
please, yeah, let us know. That would be fantastic. I would love that. Before you tell anybody of any authority, let us know.
Yeah, because then you'll go missing, and then we'll never know.
Mm.
Men in Black of cryptids.
Oh my god, that's an awesome job, right? That'd be a really cool gig.
It probably is a very real thing. I totally believe in the concept of Men in Black. 1,000%.
I mean, after the news we just got about aliens.
Oh my god. I watched this TikTok or this reel or whatever, one of the versions of those things earlier, and this guy was like, and it's like it was like a stitch. Like the first part of it was like somebody talking about how like no one even batted an eye about the aliens, and then the person that stitched it was like, that's because we're tired. He's like, we're tired of living a historical event every other week. He's like, we can't pay our bills. We don't care if there's aliens. It's like, that's the most realistic response I've ever heard. We're just like, okay, and what does that do? Is that going to put money in my account? Is that going to make life better? Is that going to heal any illnesses that I have? I don't care.
He's absolutely right, though, isn't he? I got enough shit to worry about.
And furthermore, I've always believed in aliens. I don't need government to tell me that they
Right.
exist.
Right.
In the middle of coming up on like election stuff, like I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Like as an intelligent person who doesn't rule out the existence of these by probability alone in the vastness of our universe, this isn't exactly surprising news. Like, all right, cool. You've confirmed what we've all sort of believed the whole time anyway.
Yeah, and I think like there was this video that went out like right at the beginning of like YouTube kind of really taking off and people being like all about YouTube, right? And so it's over a decade ago, and there was this Canadian Prime Minister that spoke out at it wasn't quite a United Nations, but something like that, where it's like the gathering of, the really rich people that make all the decisions for everybody from other countries.
Oh my God. Some number summit. And
yeah. It's not a United Nations, but you know what I mean, though. It's like whatever that gathering is. So he stands up and he's like, has this like message to address, and everyone's looking at him like, oh God. But he talks about all of the things that they know already, and that he feels like they should be telling people the truth. And then he even goes in to talk about the species or whatever of the aliens that we've encountered, how long they've been here, that they're still here, that they visit from time to time, that there's different ones, yada, yada, yada. And I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. I can't fucking find that video anymore. Like I saw that video like twice, and then like I've been trying to find it to show people. I can't find it anywhere.
You're never going to.
And I'm like, see, like this shit's real. Y'all think what y'all want to think. I'm just saying.
Well, it wouldn't be working so hard to cover it up if there wasn't some truth to it.
I think it would have been better off trying to paint him as some crazy old man instead of deleting the video.
Right.
Anyway, I digress. It's not about aliens, but that's just, I was thinking about that because of the recent meeting that they had.
I mean, in a way, when you think about it, aliens are kind of like cryptids themselves. So I think there's some relativity here.
Yeah, because there's numerous cryptids that tie into the belief that they may actually just be aliens. Bigfoot is one of them. That's one of the theories around Bigfoots.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Big feet.
Yeah. But I think I discussed this in the Oklahoma octopus episode that there was a study that went out that sought to prove that octopuses are aliens, that they're not from this planet. So for there to be a cryptid that is also an octopus kind of, feeds into that as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
I'm ready. I think
we're going to learn about pigs.
Damn. Okay. Is it going to creep me out? All right. What doesn't matter. Let's do it.
That depends on what you know about pigs.
They're really cute when they're little. They are not cute when they get big.
That kind of gets to one of the questions. Do you know how big, lengthwise, the largest pig is?
Can I have a unit of measurement, like feet?
Feet, yeah.
Okay.
Feet.
No, pigs get kind of big. Let me think.
This is kind of a two-part question.
It's always something with you. It's never just this like straightforward. You know what? I was still nice this time in my questions.
I'm not a nice person, so.
True. Okay, let me think.
Yeah, I'm looking for the length of the largest pig size-wise. but I'm also going to ask you for the heaviest pig because they're two separate species.
Okay. So let's go for my length. I'm going to go 7 feet.
Almost there.
Good for me.
Yeah.
Eight. Is it 8 feet or 7?
It was a little bit. It was a little bit lower.
Six and a half.
You're around 6.5, 6.6 feet long.
That's pretty good for not having any idea what the hell you were going to ask me. 6.5. Okay, so I was close.
And that is the giant forest hog.
But that's massive, though. Like when you think about like
that's a wild pig too. Like that's not a domesticated pig. That's not livestock. That's a wild pig. So you can be.
Imagine like you're out just minding your own business and you come across something like that. You wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, something that is longer than you are tall.
Yeah.
And it's a pig.
Of all things.
Of all, yes.
Okay, and then the weight, right? How much, like the most? Okay.
Yep, and this is from a Eurasian wild hog. So another wild one.
Is it in pounds?
It is in pounds, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna guess 400 pounds.
You are off.
By a lot.
You are too low.
I'm too low. Fuck. Okay.
You are too low.
I'm gonna go up to 650.
You are still too low, my friend.
Shut up.
I am serious.
Oh my God. How much? You gotta tell me.
710 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
That's massive.
Yes. And I don't know how fast they run. But generally, do you know how fast pigs can run?
Like a regular ass pig, or like a
regular ass pig, and
okay.
I hope it's not.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing would be scarier than 710 pounds moving at this speed.
I mean, honestly, you'd have me at like pretty low speeds. I'd be concerned. Okay.
It's a high speed for 710 pounds, so I'm really hoping that this is really a general
okay.
number.
I'm gonna say, I don't know, 25 miles an hour.
You're high. I get where you're coming from, given what I just said, but you're high.
15.
Also high.
Oh, 10.
Yep. You're at 11 miles per hour.
That's still fast, though.
Which, yeah, it doesn't seem like much to some people, but that's equivalent to running a 7-minute mile.
Yeah.
Which is really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really hoping that 710 pounds isn't careening at you at 11 miles per hour.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right? That's kind of terrifying, though.
That is definitely, that's definitely terrifying.
Yeah. And I just think these numbers are staggering to me. the more that I read them. Especially because like I work in audiovisual, so like audio is a big part of my job. So getting these numbers, I'm like, holy crap, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's, can you tell me? I don't know how familiar you are with decibel, decibel ranges and such in terms of measuring how loud something is. To get an idea, 60 decibels is like regular speaking volume for people.
Okay.
Pigs can squeal, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just throw out a number on how loud you think they can get?
2,854.
Jesus, that's a big number. No.
Well, your numbers today are either really high.
That would definitely make your head explode.
Well, that's how I feel when I hear them. That's where I was coming from. On a scale of
I'm enjoying this. I want
whiny you adult to 5-year-old tantrum.
Yeah, right. Definitely louder than both of those.
Okay.
Pigs can squeal as loudly as 115 decibels.
That's a lot.
To get an idea of how loud that is, there's some comparisons that fall with between 100 decibels and 120 decibels. So a pig squeal will be right in the middle of this.
Okay.
Bulldozers, motorcycles, sandblasting, and loud rock concerts.
Jeez.
A pig squeal can get as loud as those. And that's only 3, and this is 3 decibels higher than a supersonic airliner. A supersonic airliner is quieter than the top volume of a pig squeal.
That's wild.
Isn't it? Animals are cool.
Animals are scary.
That too. Yeah.
As I'm learning through this damn series.
Well, I'm saving some of the scarier and more disturbing facts of pigs for when we get towards the end of this, which is now. 2 more questions left. They're both kind of disturbing.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I bet. So, do you know what pigs eat? Do you know anything about their diet?
People. Is that where this is going?
Kinda.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I
immediately went Hannibal. I'm sorry.
I don't blame you for going straight to that because I mean, the powers of deduction they serve you well.
Okay, so do I know what they eat? Junk, like I don't know. It's a mix of stuff, right? But they're meat eaters, right?
They are. They eat nearly anything. Absolutely anything. Even people. But that also includes their bones. They can eat through bone. Yes.
Any pig or like
Most pigs.
those cute little like pink ones, they can do that?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, now I need a Babe Pig in the City horror movie. Go ahead.
Well, in 2012, there was a farmer in Oregon.
I hate you so much. Funny you should say that, Angel, because in 2012.
You should know by now that there is going to be a story behind the facts.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you?
Probably the fuck not, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Probably the fuck not. No, you're not. You're not ready for this.
No.
So in 2012, there was a farmer in Oregon who suffered a heart attack and fell into his pig enclosure. And to save the eyes for what's coming next.
Okay.
A relative of his got concerned. Didn't have like much contact with him, so got concerned. Went to go look for him, and by the time that person found, quote unquote, found this farmer, the only thing that was left of him were his dentures.
Ew.
Yeah. So pigs can eat through bone like butter. Yeah.
And meanwhile, we have to go to the dentist every 6 months because we can't handle broccoli.
Yeah. So it's quite a superpower of pigs.
Did you just call it a superpower?
And disclaimer: this at all does not endorse, nor is it advice on how to get rid of a body.
I'm definitely taking that clip to promote this episode. If that doesn't get people in, nothing will.
Yeah, right.
Oh shit.
So I will close out with one last little tidbit here.
Of course.
Do you know the term that is used for cannibalism in terms of what to call a human as a source of meat.
I think I do know this. I do. I have. I've heard this before.
Yeah, it's kind of an antiquated term, so it doesn't get used a lot anymore. But some people still do use this
I don't remember. I know I've heard this before though. What is it?
Yeah, long pig.
Yeah.
So long pig is a term.
Gross. Sorry. Continue.
The reason that long pig was chosen as the term for human meat for cannibalism is because it's actually a translation from Pacific Islanders, like native Pacific Islanders who worked.
Okay.
And it was a translation from a phrase that they used. And the reason they used it was because they described human meat as being very close in taste and texture to pork. So any of you out there who are curious, I just told you, so you don't have to do it.
Now you know.
You don't have to engage. You're pork. We're like pork.
You have literally just taught people how to be like cannibalistic serial killers and how to get away with it.
Thank you. I'm very proud of myself now. So this term was popular between around 1888 to 1920, which was when that term was at its peak of popularity. But since then, it's declined in popularity and isn't really used much anymore. But some people still do use it in like horror movies and stuff like that. It's sometimes it gets thrown around. So, but yeah, that's the Pigman, and also a lot of disturbing facts about pigs themselves.
That's the theme for Ivan's picks. I think the moose is the only one you didn't scare me about.
Really?
Maybe just because the other two are worse.
Maybe. I know. I kind of just got gradually more disturbing with my picks.
Well, this one was cool. I like the background story. The origin story is cool.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that stuff used in like horror movies, even if not just a pig. Like I've seen it, in other things. They did it in American Horror Story, but it was a bull, I think.
Right. I've seen some movies where people put on pig masks as
there's a horror game. It's called The Farm, I think.
Yeah. Yes, maybe.
And you go and you play like the protagonist is like a guy going into this house. There's like I think it's like wife or somebody's there, but it's so randomly these people show up with pig masks on in the middle of the night and they're in the house.
I kind of wonder if the Pigman has any influence there, like and You're Next. That's a movie where I think somebody wears a pig mask, but I wonder how much of an influence that has as little known
on those things. Yeah,
which I think is kind of cool. I love that.
Well, and the mask from Saw is a pig mask as well.
Oh, right. Yes.
I mean, it's hard to tell a lot of the times that that's what the fuck it is, but it is. It's a pig mask with hair.
Right.
So.
Kind of cool stuff. It is an absolute pleasure to disturb the living shit out of you.
Yeah. And if you want more of that, the links for Ivan's content are in the description for this episode. So you can go see more things like that.
Yes, please visit my website, watch all of my content, be completely unnerved. It is an absolute pleasure to be the source of your discomfort.
You heard it here. All right, that leaves us with one episode for this season. And the next episode is going to be on the New Jersey Devil. which I wasn't originally going to do. I think I picked something else originally, but then somebody that really likes watching us asked if I would cover that one. And I wasn't super attached to my final pick. So I said, well, sure, I'll do the New Jersey Devil. I mean, that's one everybody knows and is familiar with. So why not? So that's what we're talking about next time. So yeah, that's all we have for this episode, Beasts and Booze. Links to Find Ivan, once again, are in the description for this episode as well. There's a playlist if you haven't seen the others. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, a good weekend coming up, and we will see you in the next one.